Welcome. I'm Brian Ross, Chief Investigative Correspondent for ABC News, reporting today from Lagos, Nigeria. Actually in the back of a police van. As you'll see, the two men in the back here have just been arrested by Nigerian police and what is known as the 419 scams. You've heard all these internet scams of people trying to rip off. These two men have just been arrested, and Mustafa Shaki here is the police detective who made the arrest. Tell me what's happening now with these men, what you're going to do.
Yeah, when we get back to the office, basically we're going to take their statement and they're going to tell us what transpired between them and their victim.
The two men would later admit they had been involved in a scam to cheat an American victim out of thousands of dollars. The American victim was me. As part of an ABC News 2020 investigation, we let ourselves become victims of a number of email scams run out of Nigeria. We found millions of Americans are being targeted and billions of dollars are being made by the con men, with very few of them ever being arrested. Ripping off gullible Americans has become so celebrated in Nigeria, it's led to a hit movie and a hugely popular music video. I Go Chop Your Dollar.
I go chop your dollar. I go take your money, disappear.
It mocks the greedy white victim, known as the Mugu, the big fool, being conned by Nigerians posing as prominent officials, promising the Mugu easy riches.
You be the Mugu, I be the master.
But until now, little has been known about the winners, the masters, about who exactly in Nigeria is running the scams and how they get away with it.
Hello?
Hello, is the chief there, please? So we decided to let ourselves become the Mugus, the big fools, and follow the trail to the person at the other end of the phone. Are you in Nigeria?
I am in Nigeria.
The scam began with an email claiming someone had died in a plane crash and left a huge inheritance in the millions, sitting unclaimed in a Nigerian bank, all of which could be ours. All we had to do was hire a certain lawyer in Nigeria who called himself Chief and send him $4,500. The chief told us the money was in the bank.
I was in the bank today. I met the director of the foreign operations. He even showed me his balance, which is 28.5 million, but it accrued some interest.
So it's 28.5 million?
28.5 million, and it has accrued an interest of $1.2 million.
$1.2 million in interest?
Yes.
And the chief told us precisely how to send him his lawyer's fee of $4,500.
I go chop your dollar.
Hollow out a book and put the cash in the middle, which we did, using Monopoly money. Then wrap it as a birthday present and send it by DHL to Nigeria. We did all that, adding a few ABC News stickers on the outside. Just like the song said, we were becoming the Mugus.
I go chop your dollar.
Folks will be landing in 5 minutes to landing.
And then we followed the package and the trail to Nigeria. To Lagos, a sprawling, crime-ridden, corrupt disgrace of a city, home to more than 20 million people, where the average income is $1 a week. The scammers are known here as the 419 men. 419 is the section of the Nigerian criminal code that makes it illegal to obtain money under false pretenses. Until just very recently, it was a law that was almost never enforced. And police here say at any given time there are thousands of 419 men online at small internet cafes trying to scam Americans. This is one of them, according to investigators who helped us take our hidden cameras inside, where the scammers spin their schemes. A rare look inside, and with me now is Joe Ree, who along with Len Tepper was the producer of our investigation. Joe, we were able to get inside there where very few people have ever gone with cameras, and certainly neither you nor I can pose as a Nigerian. How do we get in there?
Well, I think most people in this country, when they think of an internet cafe, they think of a nice place where you can order a cup of cappuccino and browse the internet. But in Lagos, these are in the most dangerous neighborhoods of one of the most dangerous cities in the world. So what we did is we partnered with a crack anti-fraud corruption team in Nigeria, the EFCC, and we worked with one of their undercover investigators. He went in with our hidden cameras and he was able to document the inside of the cyber cafe. And to get in, you have to know the lingo of the scammers. You have to know the jargon of what they're doing on the internet. And he literally had to go and get on a computer and start writing his own scam email. But that's the key to getting in.
And as people will see in our 2020 report, when we went back with them, they raided the place and they all took off.
They did, but unfortunately, most of them were caught and their scans were still up on the screen. So it was very easy to figure out what they were doing. And as we found, once they were arrested, the police were able to get into their actual email addresses and they could just see every single person they were running their scams on.
And we saw all those Americans. One final question. We were able to scam some of these scammers themselves. Some of the world's best scammers fell for our tricks. How do we do that, do you think? What was the key?
Well, it's interesting. When we saw the music video, they mocked the Americans for their greed. But if you think about the scammers, they're very greedy too. And what we did is we appealed to their sense of greed by sending them cash. And anytime we flashed cash in briefcases or sending in the mail, it overcame their suspicions. They showed up and they picked up the cash.
Joe, thanks very much. Full coverage and updates on this story can be found on our website called The Blotter, which is at abcnews.com. And I want to hear what you have to say about our report. Send us your video comments or questions via cell phone, webcam, or camcorder and get your chance to be seen and be heard on our next program. Just go to the Brian Ross and the investigative team website at abcnews.com and click on Ask Brian Ross. I'm Brian Ross, reporting from New York now. Thanks very much. We'll see you soon on the web.
Go to abcnews.com anytime for Brian Ross and the investigative team. The reporting never stops at abcnews.com.
The president was hit. He is in stable condition.
It is the worst disaster in the history of the American space program.
I've never seen a royal wedding like this.
O.J. Simpson wanted on 2 counts of murder.
Relive the most dramatic days in history with ABC News. Download The Day It Happened today at iTunes.